Welcome to the LISTRIFF Challenge, the show where you find a problem and we find ideas to solve it.
Insert logo here.
I am with Heather Elizabeth, my guest. Heather, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So Heather is a self-enterpriser. A self-enterpriser is someone who discovers what they love to do and then gets about doing it, discovers how to get paid to do it. And Heather, tell me about what you're doing that you love to do. Did you find something you love to do?
Absolutely, actually. I organize and clean as a local business, and I was looking for something to do online. And because of the fact that I'm a little bit of a control freak, I'm going to admit that, I actually took the organizing part of it, and I love creating the systems and all that stuff. So I actually took that online and do it. I'm specializing in home office organizing and decluttering for business owners and entrepreneurs, and I absolutely love it.
Okay, now I love to have things organized. I do not love to organize them myself. Do you work with people like me?
I do, and what I find with the organizing online or organizing even with my clients locally is the more that the person's actually involved or the more that the person's actually doing, they actually take a responsibility for themselves. Therefore, they want to keep it organized. So that's why, a lot of people are like, oh, how can you organize online? I'm like, I'm not the one that's actually physically taking everything and organizing the home offices. I'm coaching the person to show them basically the overwhelming task and breaking it down into small steps and saying, okay, here's step one and up to however many steps we need. And we end up doing it that way. And it's actually taking the mental part of it as well out of the equation, because a lot of people have the clutter and it totally clutters their mind, their business, their life, everything. So I help them with that. So yeah, I don't physically do it. That's something that, my clients do. And they're like, oh my goodness, I never would have thought to be able to do it myself.
That's great. Now, how did you start? Did you create this business or did this business create you?
Does that make sense? Well, I was going to say, I guess it, I was talking to one of my girlfriends and just saying that I wanted to take the organizing part online because really the cleaning part and stuff I could do, but it was the
I mean, before that, you're an organizer by nature?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
How did you, even before you went online, how did you, was this a calling that you just had to go and do, or did somebody say, hey, will you come help me? And that's how it started. How did you get started to begin with?
Well, so I was a general manager a few years back, and because of personal things, whatever, I actually resigned that position, took on a position just as a cleaner, and I was like, I actually don't mind doing this. I was like, it's something I, normally do, whatever. And then the organizing part came through, and then I actually for the first time in my life, I got fired. And I was like, okay, what am I going to do now? So I ended up just doing my own business, because I was like, I can do this. I know how to put systems in place. I know how to do this. I know how to organize whatever. So that's where it ended up coming from. And that's when I realized that the cleaning, the organizing, the putting the systems, the helping people, that's something that I truly, absolutely love doing.
That's awesome. There's a certain power in getting fired. Never fun.
Yeah, there really is.
It certainly knows how to motivate us.
Oh, absolutely. And it's funny because at the time it was like, what? And now I'm like, that has probably been one of the best things that has actually happened to me.
Well, good to hear, and good to have you with us today. Are you ready for a challenge?
I am.
All right. I have the rules of the challenge right here.
Okay.
And I'm going to read them because I don't memorize things. I have a list of real challenges found from real people on the internet. My guest and I will each write down 10 ideas for solutions for these challenges. Once we've reached 10, we will hit enter into our conference chat. Finally, both lists are posted. Once both lists are posted, we'll discuss the ideas we've come up with. Also, silly ideas, bad ideas, ugly ideas, they're all welcome here. And for one thing, this frees the mind. And for another thing, sometimes it helps us to get to that 10th item if we have some bad ideas in there. So if you're watching or listening to the program, feel free to add your ideas to this list at our Self-Enterpriser Facebook page. And why don't we start with the preliminary round? Now, I chose this topic. You're going to blow me away in this because this is in your field. This is in your area of expertise. And I'm going to type it into our chat here. And it is 5 ways to improve your workspace to increase productivity. Each of these ways taking less than 1 minute to complete.
Okay, so 1 minute per idea that I get to do, or 1 minute that they have to do and take?
What can I do or a person do in 1 minute that will increase their productivity?
Okay.
All right. You could enter them now. 1 through 5. We're just going to 5 on the preliminary.
Okay. Yeah, I'm at 5.
Okay, I'm at 2.
Okay.
All right, well, I got to 4. Certain I could have come up with 5. Now, one of the reasons that we do this, and I explained this to you before the program, is I think a lot of us, we make business too difficult. We think, oh, we don't have the answers, so we don't look for them, or we certainly don't look for them within ourselves. And so what list riffing does is it allows us to look inside ourselves and say, oh, I've got some ideas. And the more we do that, the more practice we become at coming up with some ideas. And the other thing that list riffing does is we can do it with somebody else, or we can do it with a group of 10 people, which we do inside of our online community, the self-enterpriser community.
Awesome.
And so if we don't have ideas, if they're just not coming to us, or if we just want an outside perspective, it might not take a 3-day, $5,000 seminar somewhere. Now this is going to come back to bite me when I'm selling 3-day, $5,000. Actually, I would like to have it live events, but there will be for different reasons than coming and getting all the ideas. I refuse to do a "you too can be like me" seminar. I'm kind of an anti-guru a little bit. I've been kicked out of more than one group. So.
Well, I was going to say, I remember the one post that you said, I got kicked out and I don't even know why.
That's right. So let's look at these. Let's look at these ideas, and I want to look at your ideas here. Let's pick make a to don't list.
Okay.
And tell me what you mean by that.
Okay. So to don't list is things that, okay, so say you've got a certain project that you want to work on. A to don't list is things that you need to write down that you don't focus on right then and there. So, anything to do with, okay, don't focus on, things you have to do with the family if you have to, like whether it's making dinner or whatever. That goes on your to don't list. So don't bother even working with that. That's something to think about later. Another to don't list is, okay, let's say you're doing research. What are certain areas that you need to research, or where do you need to go? And where do you not need to go? Like, so don't go on Facebook. That's a to don't, because, regardless of how much, information there could be on Facebook, guarantee it's going to stop your production, because then you're going to see a post, then you're going to go to this, and then you're going to go to the next one, and it's going to be, so to don't list is definitely social media. Stay off social media.
Heather, it feels so good. I've got to get my social media fix.
Nope, that goes on the to don't list. Not if you want to be productive.
Okay.
But so it's things that you don't want to be doing if you want to continue and get to your end goal is one task. Okay,
I like that. I'm going to share one of mine if I can.
Yeah.
Yes, I can. It's my show. Hey. And I just thought of this because this is I used to shoot these, record these sessions inside the house, and the rest of the family would leave. Well, what would happen was the rest of the family would leave, and I'd walk around the house with a big basket, throwing everything that was in the background in this basket. And so that was my first idea. Put everything on your desk into a basket or a bucket. You take back only what you need when you need it, and put the rest away somewhere else after a week. I don't know. I think you said something similar. Didn't you say clear your desk?
Yeah, I did say clear the desk, because so clearing the desk is a huge thing, because if you've got so many things on your desk from, the night before, the week before, you've got papers, bills, whatever the case may be, you're going to focus on those things versus the task at hand.
And I like our ideas together because if you have the big basket, grab the laundry basket, dump the laundry out. It doesn't matter. That'll get done later, or it won't. But if you just, because you can take 3 days to clear your desk.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking, yeah, dump it in a basket and get to work.
Yep.
All right. Now, this question was left for me, and I don't know if it was a question or if it was somebody who was kind of sending me a message. Let me post it up here. Let's see what I'm talking about. So the question, the poster said, how about spending more time on the product than you do the audience? And I'm thinking, is this a question or is this a slap in the face?
Saying, yeah, I was going to say, is this a statement or a question?
And so I asked the person nicely to clarify, no response. And then I asked, well, I'm not sure if this is coming at me or if this is a question, no response. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to take it as a question. And just to prove that I'm taking it as a question, here it is. So now this person was a writer or an author.
Okay.
And but I think what he means by the question, or what I interpret it as, since I'm not going to take it as an insult, is that sometimes we focus so much on the audience and on what other people want that our product suffers. And when our product suffers, we don't actually get people what they want. So this is a little out of the norm as far as questions go. But let's see if we can come up with 10 ideas on how to maybe shut out the audience for a while, or our customers for a while, so that we can make a better product. Sound good?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of how. Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
All right. Well, take your time. It's not a race unless I win.
Okay.
All right, so we have, your 10th one did come up, so we have 20 ideas here. So Heather, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look through your 10. I'm not going to read them all. I'm just going to look through them all that just stand out to me. If you'll do the same on my list, and then we'll discuss 2 to 4 of those.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to start here. I've got number 5. Let's see, what is that? Make sure the product solves the problem. And, I think I'm going to combine all of these. All right.
Okay.
Make sure the product solves the problem, which I'm thinking led you into the next ones. And I'll read number 7 and 9 here. Wait, isn't your audience who your product is for?
Isn't that the reason why you did the product?
And number 9 was kind of with that, no audience feedback. How do you know your product will sell? Well, my opinion on this is, of course, you need the audience. And of course, they have the final say. A little bit of lean startup type things that I've studied. The example that I've heard was, if you ask an engineer what the ultimate remote control, I was going to say television remote control, but just remote control would be, it would control everything. It would control your car, it'd control your TV, it'd control your refrigerator, it'd control anything and everything, and have a specific button just for that feature, perhaps. Of course, now they've got the touch screen, so you would just scroll to that button. Whereas sometimes I just want to pick up the remote control and turn on the TV.
Yep.
And if we allow ourselves as the designers of our products to think of everything that's cool, or if we're asking other people's opinion, hey, what do you want in a remote control? Oh man, I want it to make flight reservations for me while I'm watching reruns of MacGyver. And you can ask other people your opinions. I kind of went the long way to get here. But you can ask other people their opinions, and you can get so many features that it's not really a usable product anymore. Or you shut out a good portion of people. Whereas if you said, hey, what is my ultimate experience? I just want to be able to turn on the TV, maybe answer the phone. Yeah, let's just do those two things. With that in mind, I think there's enough people. If you're interested in something, there's other people who are probably interested in the same thing.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
So my thought is if we focus on just what we love, that other people are going to be loving that as well. Now, that's not to say you just make that and that's it.
No,
I
you
think
test
you make
it.
something.
Like once you make that product, once you create it, you test it. If there is that thought of, okay, this works, then you build on that. But unless you have that audience, you're not sure what you're actually going to build on that. But at least if you start with what you like, there's going to be other people. There's 7.4 billion people on the earth. I'm sure there's going to be one other person at least that likes what you like.
Right. And if it's a really expensive product and that one other person has a whole lot of money, you're set.
Done.
I think what I'm hearing in our conversation is that it's a dance. It's really this, you come up with what you want and you put it out there and you see who likes it, what changes might need to be made, and then you adjust. But I see a definite need for a balance there.
Oh, for sure. And that's with a lot of things, because there's not always one way to do something.
Right.
So one way you like something, so you may like a TV show. Let's even bring it back to the remote. So you like the TV show. Well, you found out that the person that's sitting beside you likes a different show. Well, you now need a button to change channels.
Right.
So it's the same product, but now you're just adding a little bit more to it.
Even on TV shows, I've heard that when a producer is looking for a new show, they're not looking for something that has the most appeal. They're looking for something that has a tremendous appeal with a particular audience.
Yeah, the niching down. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, and you picked out one for me. Why don't you read one of those?
Okay. So the one that I had for yours. Okay, so choosing your favorite colors for your theme, forgetting about looking into other palettes and stuff. So it's the same thing. It's using that thing that, is something that you like, because especially if it's your, the same thing that's going to be on your website or anything like that, any product that you have, you're going to be working with that each and every single time. So yeah, I totally understand with making something that you actually enjoy looking at, or that, whatever, because there's going to be other people, like we've said, that are going to be like you, that are going to be attracted to those colors, that are going to be attracted to those kind of, yeah, actually, you know what, I like this. So yeah, so choosing your own palette and choosing colors that you enjoy makes sense.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've chosen some colors. I hope we're not using them anymore, but I had some colors for the Self-Enterpriser site or our theme. And they were more obscure, and they still are. I think we used teal, a certain shade of maroon or burgundy, and a couple of different shades of orange. Well, the challenge with some of these is they look different on a Mac than they do a PC, than they do a tablet, than they do somebody else's. And so they're not those standard colors. And so I kind of learned a lesson there, and we'll see if I keep the colors or not that we have now. I adjusted them a little bit, and then you had number 10, scout other projects for everything you don't want in your product, a la Penn and Teller. Have you heard you know who Penn and Teller are? Magicians?
Yes.
Okay. They when they started out, apparently they toured the country and went to every magic show that they could to find out what not to do in their own show. And it's a little bit of a negative approach. And I guess I've told you I'm a little bit of an anti-guru, so there's some things that kind of grate on me. I don't want to be seen as the guru. I don't want to be I told you I prefer not to be in front of the camera, but it gets the message out. So, and I meet some really cool people like Heather Elizabeth. And, but yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I think, well, as much as it's a negative approach, but you've got to also see whatever that competition is doing and seeing how whatever they're doing, what kind of audience they're getting or what kind of product or whatever. If you see the fact that, okay, well, that's not the type of person I want to deal with as a client or as, whatever, then be like, okay, so what are they doing that I don't like? Okay, I'm not going to do that then. I'm going to make sure that that again goes back to what we talked about earlier, the to-don't list. So it's, as negative as it sounds, there is still the to-don't list of your products too. What don't you want your product to do? What don't you want it to look like? And having it like that, I do agree with that as well. It's still creating that to-don't list of what you see your competitors doing and what it brings. Is that what you want?
Right. And I think it's great because there's a lot of things, like I could watch my shows if I would take the time and see tons of things that I don't want, but then I'd just get nervous about them. But I think we can look at, I think a lot of the people have the don'ts and they don't even see them. Mm-hmm. And so we've got that distinct advantage to be able to go in and say, oh, I don't want that. I don't want that. And at the same time, we could say, oh, I like how they do this. So it's a give and take in both senses. Is you're seeing what you don't, but then you're opening your mind to other things that go, wait a second, I actually do like that though. So it's opening your mind, like being that conscious of seeing other people's products and saying what you don't like. You do also find what you do like of it. Well, Heather, thank you for being on the program. Remind me how people can get a hold of you.
They can go to my website. It's homeofficedetox.com, or they can find me on Facebook in my group, which is Home Office Detox Co-working Community. Or they can also find me in your
online community.
Yes.
On Facebook, online community, yes. Self-enterpriser community. I want to thank the viewers for watching as well. If you are thinking about starting a small business or you have a small business, join us in the community. You can LISTRIFF with others one-on-one or 10 people at a time. You can find an accountability partner or just be around others who are growing their business. So we'll see you in the community, and we'll see you next time on the LISTRIFF Challenge. Bam!
Done!
I'll even stop the recording.
All right.